All right, I'm gonna record.
Okay, got it. Perfect.
There we go. All right, so yeah, so if you're on the phone, just make sure that the volume's down and you should be good.
Yeah, the volume is definitely down. Do you still hear feedback?
I hear a little bit of feedback. Let me just
I know
make
it
sure.
is. Hold on.
All
How
right,
about
Frank. I think we're good now.
There
All
we
right.
go. Okay.
Yes. All right, so I'm gonna give it a good start. It's 8 o'clock on the dot anyway. Let's start all
Yes.
over. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, people of the world, welcome to the Community Spotlight Project, which is a platform I created where people like you and me can share their stories of life, their ups and downs, and the inspiring journey they took to get where you are today. And so today we have a special guest, Frank Gilmore, but he goes by Frank Educational Gilmore.
Yes.
And he's a man from Jersey City with a story. And without any further ado, I want to welcome Frank Gilmore. And Frank, if you could tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yes, yes. First and foremost, thank you for allowing me this platform to reach your viewers, to reach my viewers, and to have some good dialogue and, you know, some backstory on how we got where we at today. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Frank Educational Gilmore, and I go by the name Educational because I credit education with my rehabilitation. Lifelong resident of Jersey City, more of a mentor, a life coach, advocate, and I've just stepped into the reins of the political arena. And I'm just someone that's extremely passionate about helping others, being there to fight for our most vulnerable demographics and populations.
All right, that's what's up. And Frank, so I'm gonna just go right into it. Like, what even got you into saying, okay, I'm gonna run for city council, you know, I'm gonna do it for my community? Like, what are the steps, some of the steps or some of the life, you know, circumstances that got you to this point today?
Okay, well, I can definitively tell you that there's no blueprint, right? 10 years ago, I don't know I'm ending up here. This is not my plan. But I always said that if I'm ever afforded a second opportunity at life, because I'm someone who grew up, my father died, my mother was pregnant with me. My mother died when I was 12, or I just turned 13. So I come from a very broken background. And I always said that if I'm ever afforded a second opportunity in life, that I would dedicate that life to a life of community service. So that's what I've been doing for the last 10 to 12 years, just, you know, serving the community, just in whatever capacity I can help out, whether it's advocating for individuals in less fortunate demographics, advocating for youth, advocating for accountability, just being there for my neighbors, my community, and my friends. And this have led me into the political arena. So, like I said, it's really surreal because like most people who end up in this arena, you know, they came up working in politics. They was either someone's aide or their family was in politics. This is literally just, it just came to fruition. And I'm of the humble opinion that this is the creator's plan.
Exactly. And you know what? I'm happy you said that, because I think that communities of color in general, sometimes maybe we don't see ourselves in positions of power like politics. You know what I mean? We always think that that's maybe the white man's job, or, you know, people who have money, or people who already grew up like that, you know, and already maybe are in power, right? So I'm happy that you said you never knew that you were going to fall into this, but, you know, it's just something that fell into your spirit, your lap, you know, and you're doing it. And that's what obviously should be applauded. You know, I mean, just to give you a little piggyback, right? I always say, like, I know I'm a man that I like to help the community, and this is kind of like my way of helping, but who knows if 10 years from now, I see myself in your shoes. But you're an inspiring story, right? And
Yes.
That's obviously, at the end of the day, you know, if somebody coming up right now can see themselves in you, that's what it's all about, you know? And
Absolutely.
I mean, I look at your billboard, and I'm just like, you know what? You never know what 10-year-old, what 12-year-old, what 18-year-old is looking at this billboard and saying like, wow, who's this Frank Educational Gilmore? You know what I mean? And then, you know, when you win your seat, right? Because you're gonna win.
Yes, sir. We're gonna win. We are
That's
definitely
right.
going to win. It's the
You know,
people's seat, and the seat is coming home to the people. So we're gonna be victorious.
exactly, exactly. So yeah, I'm just want to say that, you know, all in all, I'm very proud of you. I'm very proud of you because, you know, you're doing something that I'm sure is not easy, and it takes a lot of work. You know.
Yes, it definitely takes a lot of work, but I'm looking at it, right? I'm looking at this for so many individuals who always had the odds stacked against them.
Hmm.
This is for them. For individuals who made mistakes in the past and they feel like they can't overcome, this is for them.
Yep.
For the disenfranchised segment of our population, this is for them. For the individual who's looking for authentic, real, and sincere leadership, this is for them. For the demographic who's looking to become complete, whole as one, a unified front, this is for them. And I say every time, I'm a motivational speaker, right? I go all around the country speaking, telling my story, write curriculums, and do speaking engagements. And every single time, my message is always, my story means nothing to me if I can't use it to help someone out. It does me no good if I can't use it to help someone out with it. I'm of the humble opinion, right, that no matter who you are, where you're from, despite your circumstance, how you got here, everyone offers something unique to life. Every single living organism, every single human being offers something unique to life. And that's how I approach life, right? So I treat everyone with respect, whether it's a homeless person or a CEO at a corporation, same exact level of respect. And that's how I govern myself, right? It's pretty much just being real and authentic to the core to who you are as an individual. So many times, right, people, they get caught up and they're egotistical and they can't talk to certain people because they might not necessarily look like them. They might not have the same religious belief. They may not have the same socioeconomical status. And I'm just that person, right, that brings all of that together. Because at the end of the day, no matter if you're Black, white, Hispanic, anything, at the end of the day, you are a human being. And that's how I treat individuals whom I encounter. And this is why I do that work. This is why I do that work.
That's beautiful, man. I mean, so basically, in an essence, you just described your core, you know, like how you approach life, and I love that message. That is such a beautiful message, and it shows that if that's how you govern yourself, that's probably how you're gonna govern your people, right? It
Absolutely.
only makes sense,
Absolutely.
right? You know, so that's beautiful, and I love the fact that you said, you know, it's for the disenfranchised because sometimes, you know, in any position, especially in politics, it's like you have to paint this pretty perfect image, but people are not always pretty and perfect.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Well, if you show me you show me a perfect person, I'll show you a perfect fool.
That's right.
You know, because we're, as humans, we're not structured like that, right? I'm perfectly fine with not being perfect. In fact, if I was perfect, I would have a boring life. I have no chance to advance. I have nothing new to learn because I'm already perfect. And people who operate from that ideological landscape, they really do themselves a disservice because the reality is you're never going to know everything about everything.
Exactly.
Right? That's just the fabric of life. It's how life is made up. Right? So I'm of the humble opinion that you must try to at least learn something every single day. Life is a journey. Life is a journey, so we can't get so fixated on a battle, right? We have to be fixated on a war. We're trying to win a war, so we can lose the battle in order to win the war. And again, that's just how I govern myself, and it's just something that I want to do with it for the people.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You know, and you just like something that came to mind as you were talking is you know, especially in our younger years, sometimes we don't have all the answers, and it's okay not to have all the answers. And so it's just about every day getting up, trying to do more, trying to educate yourself a little bit more, and just push forward, because you're never going to have all the answers. And it's
Yes.
okay to, you know, it's okay to do your research and to get back to someone, and just to do your best. That's it. You know?
Yep.
Yeah.
Ain't no need to ain't no need to try to know everything, to be, you know, just that person that, you know, proclaims to be everything and know everything. Again, you need room to grow. You need
Yeah.
room to grow. This is why I'm always in the business of turning everything into a learning experience. Like
Yeah.
literally every single thing. I turn it into a learning experience, right? How can I learn from what transpired, albeit good or bad? No
Yeah.
matter what happens, how can I learn in
Hmm.
this situation to help others whom come after me, who may encounter something like this or this? And that's
Exactly.
what life is about for me.
Yep. Yep. And so if we could get a little bit into, you know, how you approach everything with an educational standpoint, you know,
Yes,
you do consulting, right?
yes, yes, sir.
All right. So what kind of consulting do you do?
Well, I typically I work in the juvenile justice area. So I work with individuals and or programs, organizations, and agencies that deal with, some people call them at-risk youth. We call them at potential youth. And we consult them on the nuances of understanding the different types of behaviors these youth may be displaying. So I've created this curriculum. It's called the Core Principles of Understanding. And in this curriculum, right, we have several steps and several things that program fighters and entities and individuals should look for when they encounter what they deem to be inappropriate or disrespectful behavior, right? So that's the type of consulting that I do, working with these different demographics, because twofold, right? I come from this very environment, so I have the hands-on experience. Subsequently, I went to school and I'm educated in that area, and then I've been doing a work in that area. So I have the hands-on experience, the
Mhm.
educational component, and most importantly, the experiences in itself to deal with that demographic. So that's what really makes me unique in my approach about how do I represent this demographic.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know what? That's a great segue to my next question, because you know, this question comes from personal life experience. I used to think that my professional life and my personal life couldn't coexist, that I had to be like one or the other. And you know, people couldn't know, like, oh, you know, Jomil, you know, in the hood, Jomil at the club can't be the Jomil that, you know, is the same way and passionate and fun at his job, right? So the question is, how do those two coexist, if they coexist at all, for you?
Well, the thing about it, right, is I'm one individual with multiple personalities,
Mhm.
right? So depending on the demographic whom I'm engaging with is going to dictate the individual you have to get. And the reason why this is important, right, is because when I'm talking to youth about trying to overcome obstacles, right? I have to code switch. First and foremost, I have to speak a language that they know. They don't want to hear the intellectual capacity of my choice of words and things of that nature. They don't want to hear that. You have to say something to me in my language so that I understand it. You can
Mhm.
be giving him a valuable lesson in mentorship, but he's Spanish and you're speaking English. He don't understand the language that you're speaking.
Mhm.
So the personalities definitely can coexist. In fact, they have to coexist. They have to coexist because it's what makes you unique. It's what makes you the individual you are. Right now, do you have to keep the two separate? Of course, you have to keep them separate, but that doesn't mean that they can't coexist. Coexist essentially means to exist together, right? We
Mhm.
can be
Exactly.
together, and then we could keep it separate because certain environments, certain encounters call for different reactions, a different type of personalities, right? So that's what it's about, man.
Yeah.
That's what it's about, having that ability to what they consider code switch, right?
Yeah.
Because you can be saying something that's extremely beneficial to anybody. And if you're not speaking the recipient of the message language, the message is going to fall on
It's
deaf ears.
gonna.
I assure you of that.
Yep. Yep. I agree. I agree. It's gonna get lost. It totally gets lost. You know, and I especially with youth, I think it gets lost all the time because it's like, you know, they don't feel like it relates. You know,
Mhm.
definitely. So Jennifer says Jersey City needs change and new blood, which is definitely what you are. You know what I mean? It's definitely a great perspective. I love your perspective on things, right? Because you come from a place of authenticity,
Mhm.
but obviously life experience. Are there any life challenges that you could share with us that you feel you would want to like talk about that could inspire youth to do what you're doing maybe one day?
Yes, yes. So traumatic and life-changing experience, right? And I go back to what I alluded to earlier, making the best out of every situation, right? I told you I lost my father when my mother was pregnant with me. So by default, I'm an extremely good father because of the hardships. By
Mhm.
default, right? I'm an extremely good father, and that's directly due to the absenteeism of my dad. Now, see, the thing with that, it could have went either way, right? Sometimes we have a lot of generational trauma going on in Black and brown communities, right? So you see the grandfather not there, the father not there, and subsequently the young man not there for his son, right? So it's about taking a message from every single situation.
Mhm.
And that's how, again, it's just how I govern myself. So no matter how great something is going, no matter how bad it may seem, I'm always looking for a message because
Yep.
I'm of the humble opinion that there's a message there. It
Yep.
has to be a message there.
I love it.
So I've had several life-changing and traumatic experiences. And the thing about it, right? It's not gonna happen overnight. You know, the old saying, Rome wasn't built in a day. It's not gonna happen overnight. But rest assured, it comes a point in your time. I mean, it comes a point in life and time where you have to learn from that experience. That experience has to help you in some way, shape, or form for a future encounter for yourself or for someone else. A lot of times people don't understand that they may be going through something to help someone else out.
True. Yep. Yep. Sometimes we think we get down on ourselves, like, oh, this is the worst moment of my life. I can't get through this. But then, you know, 5, 10 years later, you look back and you're like, oh wow, like now I'm able to better help, you know, this person and get them through it and teach them about
Yeah.
my experience. And so, you know, I mean, we live in an age where like we get so much information fed to us, but I think the best information is to hear someone's story. And you know, that's obviously what we're doing today. You know what I mean? We're listening to someone's story so that someone else can look at themselves and be like, wow, I can relate. It's gonna be okay. You know what I mean? Like hopefully, you know, someone will look at this and read your bio, you know what I mean? And find
Yes.
write something in there that's like, what? I didn't know that. What? You know, I can do something different. I can do something with my life. You know, I don't have to settle for the status quo of what I'm going through right now, you know? So
Mm-hmm.
that's what it's all about. It's all about the inspiration. So obviously, you know, you're using your life to inspire others, you know, each
Yes.
and every day.
Yes.
So specifically for your award, what are some of like the big topics that you really wanna, you know, help them succeed with?
Okay. That's a great question. But the priority, right, for the award when I win is to bring cohesion,
Mhm.
right? To essentially say that despite what area of the ward you live in, we are all ward out. It doesn't matter. No longer are we using divisive mechanisms to divide and conquer. That's the first thing I'm going to do. Then I'm going to bring a level of transparency never seen before in the history of municipal government, right? Before I vote on anything, I'm meeting with my constituents. I'm taking something from my brother, Chris Gastins, when he was the council person of Ward B, and he would do the caucus before the caucus. So he would meet with his constituents before he met with his colleagues and got the constituents' input on how he should be voting on said proposal, right? So that's something that I'm going to adopt from my brother, Chris Gastins. And we want to make sure that the quality of life is exactly what it needs to be, because Jersey City is being gentrified, taxes are being risen, and we're not afforded the quality of life. Well, it's not, our quality of life is not increasing as rapidly as our taxes are increasing. So we must tackle quality of life issues. And for me, it's going to be my first year into this. So it's going to, I'm going to be doing a lot of listening and watching, right? I'm going to the 1-2-2 approach. I have one mouth, 2 eyes, and 2 ears. That means I'm going to watch twice as much as I talk, and subsequently, I'm going to listen twice as much as I talk. And that's how I'm going to govern myself. And again, this is going to be the people's seat, right? So there's no need for me to have an open door policy when the people have the keys to the house.
Yep. I love that. I love that. You know, something I think about is that there's really like no rule book to how you have to do this.
Yes.
Right. And I love that you said that, you know, maybe, you know, you have inspiration from others, but you also know that, you know, you also have to listen to the community, right? Because it's all these people making decisions and nobody's really listening. And then that's why we have the problems that we have, right? Maybe, you know, nobody listens. So it's all this trickling down from the top up instead of literally from the constituents up, you know?
Yeah, I think that's the number one, one of the number one characteristics of a good elected official, right? That you actually listen. Because the reality is, right, that the constituent base as a whole is smarter than you. I don't care who you is. I don't care how many degrees you got. The base of the constituency is it's mind-boggling how smart that entity or that group of individuals are versus the actual elected official.
Yeah.
So again, it's something to learn. There's a message in everything.
Yeah.
Something to learn in everything, right? So we see representation in which we don't want. Subsequently, the message there is don't do what they did. Don't ignore the people. Don't turn your back on the people. Don't go MIA when it comes to consulting, meeting, and engaging the people. So you have to learn. I'm telling you, man, there's a message everywhere.
Yeah, no, I totally believe it. I mean, so just a funny side note, I literally went throughout my 20s and I literally would say, hello, I have a message. And it was kind of like a catchphrase. So I'm thinking about how you're saying this and I'm like, there's a reason why you and I are talking today.
Yes.
Right? It's amazing to hear like, you know, that you get it. I know you get it. You know what I mean? It's like amazing to hear you say that because I'm just like, wow, like, you know, someone who also gets that there's a message and everything. So I totally agree with that. And so do you do any, and so, you know, that's kind of like a fun question, but like, what are some, because again, going back a little bit and saying that, you know, it's not easy. You need to kind of like push yourself to get up every day and do what you do. Right? You know, where does that drive and motivation come from?
It comes from understanding your purpose in life, right? I have this saying, right, that in life, you must put your purpose before your passion in life in order to reach your truest and full potential, right? So that drive essentially comes from, I know and understand what my purpose is. How do I become good at one, understanding my purpose, and two, executing my understanding of my purpose, right? So the drive is there. The drive is there. Now, you're going to have to do some image maintenance and image management as well, right? So there's a level of fortitude that come with making sure one's acting out and understanding his or her purpose, right? So you have to have strength of mind. You have to have the ability to know and understand that it's mind over matter. You have to have the ability to know and understand that you must take care of the temple. You must take care of the temple. And the temple essentially refers to the physical and also the mental, right? It's all the nourishment is coming from and going into. So subsequently, you must have the appropriate nourishment to feed the body good things, right? Then you must have a mechanism where you treat the body in a manner in which it needs to be treated. Because the reality is, right, you can't provide the best you to no one if you don't take care of self. So that's why people say, like, Coach Wu, I just don't understand how you can get up every day and just advocate for people, even when you don't see results. And my first question is always to them, well, what do you consider results? Results don't happen overnight. You know, so this is why I do that, right? I understand my passion. I know what I'm passionate about. And now I'm understanding my purpose in life. I'm understanding my very reason for existing. And that's when you make the transition from being a boy, a young man, an adult, into being an actual man. There's that transition right there.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. And it's like an awakening moment where you're just like, okay, that the boy, you know, you shed that. He's gone. That's it.
Go that way.
Yup. I love it. I love it. So Frank, what are some of the upcoming things that I know it's crunch time and November is right around the corner. What are some of the events that you're working on, or some of the upcoming, you know, things that you have going on?
Well, it's crunch time. But see, the thing for me, right, is I've been approaching March the same way I'm approaching October and November, right? So I'm out there working like election is around the corner from the beginning.
From the beginning.
From the announcement. So we have a plethora. We have about 2 more debates coming up. I think we have about 1 more meet and greet, 1 more fundraiser, which is going to be at the Light Rail Tavern here on what is that?
What's it called? The
Light Rail Tavern. I forget what block that is. I mean, not that Light Rail, Bright Side Tavern.
Bright Side, I think I've heard of it.
Bright Side, yeah. So Bright Side is on, what is that?
Right next to AutoZone and the McDonald's, I think. Like
yeah.
That area, yeah.
In that colonial area right there. So that's where Bright Side at. And that's where we will be at on Thursday.
Okay, cool.
So that will be the last fundraiser. And again, it's just about engaging. And fortunate for me that I've already been doing the work. I already have a proven body of work. It's already there. The people have seen me. The people have witnessed it. Yeah. They see the level of advocacy. They see the level of transparency. They see the level of accessibility. And that is extremely huge to constituents in Jersey City, namely Ward F. Yeah. How often, if ever, do I see my elected official? How do he treat me? Am I just a number to him, or am I a physical person? And that's extremely important.
It's extremely important. And so it's something also extremely important is for people to donate. Yeah. So if you had to make a pitch as to why people should donate to your campaign, you know, what would you say to them?
Well, I would essentially tell them, right? It's not a donation. It's an investment. It's an investment on something that you're building that you're going to eventually reap the benefits of.
Mhm.
This is an election where the People's Ward F is taking no donation from these big developers and corporations and things like that. These are donations coming from everyday, real people. Why is that important? Because I need individuals to know that it's about us and not about me. So if you want to see change, I need you to invest in ensuring that change is on the horizon.
Mhm.
So that's why we have upwards of 300 donors, $15, $10, $25, whatever you can donate. Whatever. We're not trying to kill people. We understand we're still in a global health pandemic. We understand that individuals are facing financial turmoil. And if you can't donate from a financial standpoint, you can essentially do in-kind donations. Donate t-shirts, donate your time, right? Volunteer, canvas, do phone banking, do polling. Like, it's so many things you can do. And this is what makes this candidacy so unique, right? It's that we're utilizing those avenues. And for the first time in a long time, the constituents of Ward F are buying into that investment mechanism because they know that they're investing with someone who have their best interests at heart. They know that because they've seen the work. They see that it's a proven a proven track record. It's not something that just came out of the blue.
Yeah, yeah, I love that. I love that you said that. And just because your slogan is also having to do with education, the best
Yes,
investment they say you can make is in education. Any type of education. You don't
absolutely.
have to go to the most expensive college. Just learn something. So what you're essentially saying is that people are investing in something more for the community. And I love that you said it's an investment and not a donation. So thank you for that. Because it
Yes, yes,
definitely is. It's for the future. It's for, it's for the mother and father, the new mom, the one that's trying to get up ahead, going to school, the young 12-year-old, like I said earlier, that's looking at your poster and saying, one day I want to be him, So
yes.
that's what it's all
Yeah,
about. Awesome.
and that's what it's about. That's what it's about, man. It's about being a voice for the voiceless, being a voice for a demographic who's not voiceless but have been ignored.
Hmm.
Right? So for the first time in a long time, you're going to actually have a sitting council person where you can actually call. You can actually come to his office. You can actually get them and talk to them. You're going to actually see them in the area within the jurisdiction they serve.
That's
And
awesome.
that's extremely important because effective government always is supposed to operate with the ideology that people are paramount to anything.
Hmm.
People are paramount to anything.
I love that. I love that. And what are some of the best ways that people can find you on either social media or your office or where you're currently located?
Well, I'm the most accessible individual in the United States. If you can't get access to me, you either live in a cave in Salt Lake City, Utah, or you're not trying to get in contact with me. My cell phone number 201-952-0951. I'm on all social media platforms, Educational Gilmore, Frank Gilmore JC, edu_Gilmore, Educational Gilmore Speaks LLC, Educational Gilmore Community Learning Center. I'm literally everywhere.
All right.
Literally everywhere. I'm
Awesome.
extremely accessible. And I'm just there for my people. And
That's
all
awesome.
are my people. So as long as though you are human being. And even if you're a dog and a cat, guess what? I love you too.
That's right. And you're accessible.
Yeah,
I love
yeah.
it. Yeah. Oh man. So Frank, look, I want to just say before we end, I love doing these because even though, you and I have never met in person, these these are the type of interviews I love to do. someone that I don't know and that I'm just getting to know, like literally as of today. And so I want to thank Jennifer for bringing us together. Jennifer
Shout
Love,
out to
thank you.
Jen.
Shout out to Jen.
Yeah.
You're a real one. You know, and just look at how something small that she just brought two people together
Yes.
leads to just a whole new, you know, group of people just learning more about what you're doing. You know what I mean? And it's inspiring a generation. Definitely, it's inspiring a generation.
See, and that was her sole purpose, right?
Yep.
To get us together. That may have
Yep.
been her sole purpose to get us together. You see what I'm
Yep.
saying? Everyone have a purpose in life.
Yeah.
Everyone, that's the way life works. It's the way life works.
Awesome. Awesome. So Frank, any closing remarks before we go?
No, thank you for sharing this platform. I thank everyone for tuning in. I thank everyone for watching. Most importantly, oh my goodness, I have to thank everyone for the overwhelming support, man. Thank you. And also, people, I apologize. More house signs are being ordered. Actually, they were already ordered. I'm waiting to get them in. We've ordered over 300 and something signs, people. We've ordered over 300 and something signs. There's no more signs right now, but there is one more order of 100 and something coming in. So please bear with me. Please bear with me. I promise you, you will get your sign. And thank everyone. Don't forget, November 2nd, vote for Frank Educational Gilmore for the People's Ward F. If you need to get registered, please contact me. Go to my website, gilmore4wardf.com. Thank you, good people. I love you.
I love you too. Thank you, Frank. And you all heard it here. Support, support, support. You have many ways of finding this fine young man, but literally I Googled you on top of going to your website that you provided me, and I found a bunch of things.
Yes.
Found you on Instagram, found you on Facebook, and you know, I read about you and I was like, wow, like this is a powerful story. So thank you again for agreeing to do the community spotlight. I wish you the best of luck, and hopefully, you know, we get to meet soon. Jennifer, just let me know when, and you know, maybe I can make it out to an event. You know, so definitely thank you again. And I'm definitely gonna inbox you so I can share this with you. That's right. There you go. All right, y'all.
All right, take it easy.
Thank you. Bye-bye.